Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi guys. Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira 2 is finally here. The highly anticipated rematch. And after seeing the press conference, the build-up for this fight could not get any bigger. Like in the first fight, the build-up was quite boring because both of the guys basically had no idea what the other was thinking. Like the translation, everything, the build-up, it was just like not that good. But in this one, like the hype is much more than the first one, I would say, because in the first one, like most people probably knew that it would be a boring fight. But in this fight, like after seeing how bad Alex performed that first fight, in this fight, most of the fans are curious to see how Alex Pereira actually improves and what things Magomed Ankalaev can do better, which might even potentially knock Alex Pereira out. In the first fight, Magomed Ankalaev, he did not attempt any takedowns until I think the three or fourth round it was. And like the moment Magomed Ankalaev started to attempt takedowns, I think it was a total of 12 takedowns he tried to attempt, and all of them, Alex Pereira had 100% takedown defense. But the moment Magomed Ankalaev tried to take Alex down, that was the moment where the fight basically just went so boring. Like the fight started to be like as boring as possible, because like Alex Pereira, obviously he's not a wrestler. Like he's ground and pound even. Like he's not a guy. Like if he catches you and you're there on the ground, he will obviously finish you. Like he did to Jamal Hill, for example. But he won't chase you down to finish you in the ground. Unlike Thomas Mann, for example. Like he's not gonna hunt the finish while you're in the ground. But if he caught you in standing position, you're finished. Doesn't matter if you're there or up. It doesn't matter. And that is the reason why when Alex Pereira actually at one point, he in the fourth or fifth round, Alex Pereira actually took like Magomed Ankalaev down, like in the wrestling exchanges, like against the cage. At that moment, if Alex Pereira wanted, he could have finished the fight. But as I said, he isn't a ground finisher, and he's not comfortable with that, and he usually does not do that. So that's why he did. But anyways, in this fight, as I said, the mind games are the minds the mind games are at play here, because like in the build up, obviously Ali Abdulaziz, Magomed's a manager, tweeted a lot of things which now Magomed has zero idea, zero clue about, because he doesn't use his Twitter to post. His manager does, of course. And in their encounter in the UFC PI, that was also pretty interesting. Both guys were, like it was translating from Russian to English to Portuguese, or Portuguese to English to Russian. It was insane. That's the type of fun build up, I would say, because like genuinely, I don't think either of them hate each other. But the thing is, like as I said, Ali really made this thing, like made this rivalry much worse than it should have been. Honestly, I'm not mad. I'm not saying it's worse, because like now, honestly, like the fight is much more exciting now. Now that both of the guys are giving each other death threats in the press conference. Instead of being completely respectful. Obviously, it's much better. But as far as I said, the fighting goes, like Magomed Ankalaev, I think his finishing tendency will definitely improve. Like he will, like now that he knows that he's all over Alex's head. I think like he will try his best to play less defensive and go for more significant strikes, and try to actually finish the fight as early as possible. Meanwhile, Alex Pereira, like the transformation that he had, as far as just appearance goes, like we have never seen Alex Pereira with this much hair. Let's be honest, in any UFC fight, I would say, against, ever since he fought, like he was fighting against Sean Strickland, for example, he was bald, and he was like bald in every single fight. But now like, he is actually fighting with hair. I know it probably doesn't make that big of a difference, but what I'm saying is that the way in which Magomed Ankalaev beat Alex Pereira, it really changed a lot of things in Alex's personal life. Like that usually plays a big role in the rematches. For example, when Mera brutally humiliated Sean O'Malley in the Sphere, that completely changed Sean O'Malley, and we like like he became disciplined, disciplined. He quit drugs, he quit smoking or whatever. Anyways, so he quit partying. So but like he was saying that he was changed. He was saying, he was showing that he was changed. In the build up, he didn't talk as much, but guess what? When it came to fighting, he got destroyed. He got beaten even worse than the first time. But the thing that is like the thing that I'm worried about here is I really don't want to see Pereira get knocked out. Like Pereira, like he is one of my favorite fighters, and he's one of the fighters who honestly like made me personally fall in love with MMA. Recently, of course. Like for example, you see 300, 303, 307. Those were the performances which made me a true MMA fan. Like which made me love the sport so much. So I really don't want to see him get knocked out. But honestly, like how good, like judging by how good Magomed looked in the first fight, and like how like what he's saying in the press conference and the interviews, I really feel like Alex is gonna get knocked out. I feel like but I think Magomed Ankalaev will either brutal knock him out or get a dominant decision, like a 49 or 49, 46 or something. And I think if Pereira wants to win, he should go for the knockout, because he ain't beating Magomed in points. Anyways, that's my thoughts on it, guys. You guys make sure to watch, you guys think, and inshallah see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.